Now, 1 in 8 young voters intend on boycotting or spoiling their vote at the next general election. A new survey found that 18 to 29-year-olds still thought the economy is the most important issue.
Things in politics affect us, such as student fees, and for us in particular, who are environment students, voting for, say, the Green Party would be beneficial because they're doing a lot in terms of climate change.
It's difficult because I feel like the campaigns and the policies don't really apply to us, so there maybe isn't the incentive to turn out and vote from our age group.
Well, some views of some young voters there. Well, to talk more about this, I'm joined by George Alawi from the South Kilburn Trust. Good afternoon.
Hi, Alex.
Now, you get an idea there of what young people are thinking about, but when you hear that 1 in 8 are going to boycott or spoil their vote, do you think there's work to do?
Firstly, thank you for having me here, and I'd also like to say thank you to the young people that worked the South Kilburn Voices event last week. And yes, there is things that you can do. We engaged with the young people through a democratic process, and they engaged with it and produced an amazing hustings with over 200 people rocking up. And they felt like they had their voices heard. And I think what's happening is young people don't feel listened to at all. So, yeah.
When people say that they're not having their voices listened to, are they looking for specific youth-targeted policies? What is it that's making them feel like they're not engaged?
I don't think, I mean, between the last elections and this elections, you can see the effect that young people have had. You know, the cuts in uni, the cuts in all sorts of things going on. And actually, there's not enough youth providers around at the moment to open these opportunities. They want to lower the vote, and I said this last time, I want to lower the vote to 16. But how can you lower the vote to 16 if a 16-year-old doesn't know what they're voting for? And, you know, you need to put, I think, the national curriculum needs to come into play and politics needs to be put in there.
So you'd like to see education playing a bigger role in how people engage in politics?
I think it's important to have that there, yeah. Because, I mean, you can't make an educated vote if you don't know what you're voting for. You can't expect a 16-year-old to vote for any party if they don't know what a policy is or how a policy works. And these little things, I mean, I didn't vote till I was 21. And I think that kind of, when I voted, I felt liberated. And I was like, oh, right, I've done something different. But I didn't know what I was voting for. I was voting for what my parents were voted for. And now, through this process that I've worked with young people, and I'm a young person myself at 25, I believe this year I've completely changed my mind as to who I'm voting for, and it's more of an educated vote through this process.
So you just see the responsibility on others rather than the young person kind of going out and seeking that information, how most voters do vote? I think
so, and I think that there's a yes and no. It's always a good example is the yin-yang theory. There's always good where there's good, there's bad. I think there needs to be doors open to people that are not susceptible to politics and not open to politics because they believe they don't like it. But actually, when you indulge into politics and you start seeing these things that are affecting you as a person, that changes. And you start getting emotionally attached to what you're working on. And I think that's what happened through SK Voices. Now,
less than 2 months to go before the general election. Do you think it's too late to kind of engage those young people who perhaps at the moment are just like, I'm not interested?
I think yes and no. I think young people are fed up of false promises. You know, you make promises, you say you're going to do these things, and they sometimes, and they most often don't happen. So it's actually, if you're going to make a pledge and stick to that and follow through, and I believe what will happen from that is young people will respect that MP, that candidate, whoever it is, and support them. But if you're going to make a promise or a pledge, stick to it and follow through. Don't just say it to get the votes, I suppose.
OK, George, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.